What's up, you guys? It's Tuesday, so it's do that but better. And we've got we're here. I am Zach. We got Eric, and we've got a special guest. Introduce yourself, please.
Comment.
Tell us where you're from. But yeah. So Eric, how you been?
Well, we've been good. We finally got some sunshine and some warmth, which is amazing. That I feel like that has like boosted everything. Being able to go outside and feel the sun versus be outside and only feel the cold.
Yeah, we only feel cold. Although it's getting it's like 40 degrees or something like that today.
Yeah,
But yeah,
see that. I mean, after having days of like single digits,
yeah. Oh yeah. The
t-shirt and
kids on
shorts.
the kids on Sunday were definitely outside and with no sweatshirts on. It was
Yeah.
they were playing mud football and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're getting closer to spring, which is awesome. I mean, shoot, we're a quarter of the way through February, which is pretty stinking awesome. And that means that it's open time. It's time for the CrossFit Open. How excited are you?
Well, I'm excited to do the workout. However,
Hmm.
just like last year, I'm traveling. I'm going to be out of town for one of the weeks
Mm,
and actually traveling the entire Thursday when they're announcing,
okay. Where are you
which
going?
is kind of a bummer. Mexico, not
Oh,
a
get
bummer.
on there. You could probably find some place to do it.
I did see, I think there are two boxes in the city. I mean, I don't know. The resort says if you leave the resort, you're doing it at your own risk. So I've thought like, all right, well, I have to like run a mile to get to the gym and do this workout. And how mad will my wife be?
Just take no money. What can happen if you have no money?
Yeah.
But yeah,
So got to work out those details and see if it's doable.
that's right. Pay for a drop-in, do it online, and show up with nothing, and get your
Yep.
workout in and get right back.
Yep.
But yeah, well, cool. Well, yeah. So number one, when it comes to the Open, there's a lot of questions of what the heck is this. So we've been promoting it because we like to make a big deal of this. But this is the first step in getting to the CrossFit Games. So this is, and actually, I think that's one of the coolest things about it is that we are going to be taking part in a professional sport, and potentially we can move on and win. What is it? $500,000, something like that.
It
So
could happen.
yeah, so but you've got a 3-week competition
Mm-mm.
where they announce a workout on Thursday. You have till Monday to do the workout, be judged by a judge, or submit your score through a video. And then you get on a worldwide leaderboard and you get to see where you place. Is that good description?
Yeah. And I think you were kind of saying this that it's unique. If you think of World Series or the Super Bowl,
Hmm.
it's not like everyone gets to put together a team and play and play against everybody
Yeah,
and then like the best go on to the next level. It's just like you're already in the league. Or even
yeah,
the Olympics. Like if you wanted to go to the Olympic trials to try to be on Team USA, you're going to have to already have a qualifying time of whatever. Like you're not,
right,
you can't show up. But with
right.
this, you can just show up and you get to be on the leaderboard with everybody else and see where you fall, which is cool.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, over the last few years, they've introduced different options. So now they have RX scaled and fundamentals. And they're really, CrossFit has really been bringing the CrossFit Games to the masses, which I think is fantastic. Before they was just like, here's the workout and let's do this. And it's like either you could do it or you can't. And
Yep.
and that was cool, you know, and um, it ended up leaving people out. But you know, if the goal of the CrossFit Games is to test the fittest in the world, or even just test your fitness, right? So I think that the CrossFit Games, um, so the final week in Madison, all right, that is to test the fittest in the world, see who is the fittest in the world. But I
Mhm.
feel like the CrossFit Open is this is your yearly physical where you get to see what is my fitness like. And if this is your first time doing the CrossFit Open, then it's where am I at, right? So we're just getting a litmus test.
Mhm.
And then from then on, you get to start seeing where have I improved? Where am I lacking? Have I been neglecting certain workouts or certain movements because they're not in my wheelhouse? And now we can go back and go, all right, if I wanted to improve my fitness, where would I need to work the most? Or what do I not need to work on nearly as much
Yeah.
when
That,
when when I go back into my normal CrossFit training? And I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's
If
really cool for
last
that.
year, if your deadlifts were all unbroken and easy and your wall walks were brutal, and
Yeah,
you're the person who only shows up for deadlift and squat day.
absolutely. Yep. And the opposite way too. If you are just a body weight ninja and you can do, 30 plus pull-ups unbroken every time, and the wall walks you just smoke through them, and you needed the heavy weight, or you go, I could do everything except the double unders. And and the funny thing is, I think that some of these skilled movements that take some coordination, and whether it be a double under or a clean or something like that, just where there's multiple pieces moving, um, we often go, all right, well, like that's almost like a party trick, right? And it's like,
Hmm.
no, it literally just takes some practice. And it's like, all right, how much time did you put into it? Did you put in 2 minutes a day of double under attempts? And all of a sudden you're getting these. Actually, we've had multiple people who really put in some work on a few of these movements. I remember one of our members wanted to do pull-ups, and they stayed after every single day and worked on pull-ups, and they worked themselves up. Now they can do pull-ups, and it's like you get to find that little thing that you can work on, and 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 the thing that you're really great at, and you go, all right,
Yeah.
here's the linchpin. Let's go back and work on this because I can neglect this a little bit. Maybe in a workout, I'm not going to go as heavy. Maybe I'm going to work on endurance and not put the bar down as many times,
Yep.
and things like that.
Yeah.
But
And I think a lot of that stuff, like double unders, it's easy in typical workouts because your coaches care about you and are nice to you.
mhm,
To be like, well, okay, you can do this part of the workout and sub for the double unders
mhm,
versus like the open, it's going to make it sting a little bit that no, you can't just pick, do RX on the movements you want to do RX and then scale the stuff you want to scale. Like, sorry, you're going to get a score of 20 because it starts with double unders.
right,
And that stings. And that sting is what gets you moving so that you do put in that time. Because pretty much all of those things
right,
take
yeah,
longer than you want and less time than you expect.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I think that is a good point with the way that the workout or the open works. Now, I think that that is something that scares people, right? And myself included, right? You have this non-biased test that's not going to
Mm-hmm.
take anything into consideration except fitness. It's like, do you have um, cardiorespiratory endurance, stamina, strength, speed, agility, coordination, balance, accuracy, right? And how am I going to test this throughout all these, right? And anyone that is limiting me is going to be a problem. And in a class, the idea is to train for fitness. So we're going to find a way
Mm-hmm.
that you can get work on this skill that I'm working on, right? So when it comes to pull-ups, we use bands, and somebody's like, all right, I'm using the white band, and then they might progress to the orange or whatever. But it gets very easy to go, I use the white band. And hey, we're doing pull-ups. I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden they
Yep.
go, guess what? No band, right? And it's like, oh shoot, right? Or we're doing muscle ups, and it's like, all right, usually maybe I'm going to do some pull-ups and some dips, or maybe I'm going to do this thing, right? Or hey, we're doing Fran, and it's 95-65. Well, I'm going to use X amount. I'm going to use the 15-pound bar, and it's like, not anymore. Now you have to give this thing a try, and it's just like if you were playing basketball, and a team comes out and they are like, they might be more prepared. Maybe they
Oh, Dad's a perfect example.
okay.
Coaching fifth and sixth graders, where in their league you're only allowed to full court press the last 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah,
And you know what he teaches his fifth and sixth graders? Full court press.
yeah,
And no one is ever ready for it.
yeah, yeah,
Right? And I would hope that now in the league people are expecting like this team is going to do this at the end of the half.
right,
So we have to practice playing against it. And it
right,
forces you into an uncomfortable position where now you have to learn and you have to grow.
yeah.
That's all.
Now, strangely enough, I just went to he just had a championship game this weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
they changed the rule. There is no full court pressing at all anymore. Talk
Sissies.
talk
See?
about
They
brutal.
grow.
But yeah, but
Oh,
now you just got to pick them up at half court. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, so this is going to push you out of your comfort zone, and that's really what we want this for. And we don't want to do that every day in training. Well, so not that you don't want to get out of your comfort zone, but we're going to do some things like when you're training, we want to find something that is going to progress you. And taking a test does not necessarily progress you. It lets you know where you're at. And then you go back
Yeah.
and you work on those things that you had trouble on, and now we do it again. Now I feel like um, it's very easy to look at this and go, all right, I'm not going to win, and I'm not interested in going to games. In fact, I'm not even interested in competing. And why should I do this? So, Eric, if
I
you
don't know
had
why.
somebody, what's that?
I don't know why.
Yeah, well, so I think that this is definitely just a way that you can like, so I think everybody is doing anybody who is doing CrossFit is looking to better themselves, right? Whether it is fitness wise, maybe it's emotionally, maybe it's whatever your goals are coming into the gym. And I believe that when you have confidence um, physically, everything else gets better. Whether it's, hey, now I can move my furniture easier. I can play basketball longer. I can name your thing here, right? And if we get to test what is the linchpin that's holding me back right now, now we can go back and train. And
Mm-hmm.
in the hierarchy of the development of an athlete, the final step is continuously learn and play new sports, right? And so it's like put your training to the test, and and put it out there. And I think that this is a big ego check for all of us. And actually, just talking to members at the gym over the last few weeks, it's funny. Everyone that I've talked to, whether they've been doing CrossFit for a long time, they can do everything as RX'd, right? Or people who are working on specific movements and they're nervous that they're going to come up in the open. Everyone is going, they have this little gut check, and myself included, right? the open came up and I started thinking like, man, are there things that I haven't been working on? I'll tell you what, I haven't done
Yep.
muscle ups very often. So even when we've been doing them in workouts, I've been scaling them. And, I haven't done butterfly pull ups in a long time. And like I usually will do a gymnastics kip and I've been working on some strict pull ups in the workouts, little things like that. And so all of a sudden it makes you start thinking like, can I do what I did last year? Right. So whether this is your
Yep.
first time or like this is my 11th, yeah, I think it's 11th CrossFit Open. And guess what? I'm not going anywhere. Right. But I know what I did last year. And now you go, what if I get worse? And like I'll tell you what, for me as a gym owner, you go, what will people say if I don't place the same as I did last year? And the funny thing is, besides me saying it often, nobody knows what place what place I was last year, you know?
Yeah.
And so even like it's just like when people walk into a gym, they're like, "Oh man, people are going to be looking at me and whatever." And if you get done with the workout and you look over and say, "Hey, did you see that person do these reps?" People are like, "What are you talking about? I was doing my workout," you know? And the funny thing is that even in our open environment where we're going to have judges and we're going to have a crowd there, people are seeing stuff, but they're not seeing stuff. It's like
Mhm.
you might see the only things that you really remember are those moments where somebody has a total breakthrough. I remember one of our members. Um, it was the deadlifts. It was like Diane. It was deadlifts and handstand push-ups, but then it progressed into handstand walking.
Mhm.
And this person, they've got a great deadlift. They had like a 500-pound deadlift, but they couldn't hold themselves overhead, right? And so I think that the scaled version was bear crawls. So they're doing deadlifts and bear crawls, and it was coming down to the final seconds, and like everyone is going crazy because they're bear crawling and like they had to go back and forth, and they finished like right before the buzzer and they fall over and like everyone went nuts. And actually soon after that we were doing a little interview with them, and they're like we asked like, what is your like most memorable thing about CrossFit, or like your favorite moment? And they were like, doing Friday Night Lights and doing the CrossFit Open, scaled division, and everyone was cheering like it was like the biggest basketball game ever, you know? And
Yep.
I'll tell you what, like that moment gave me all the feels, you know, because it doesn't matter how you're doing it. It's just exciting to watch people push themselves to what they didn't think they could do. The
Mhm.
same thing happened. There was the thrusters and bar over burpees where it was like 21, 18, 15, 12, 9, 6,
Uh,
3. And
for
this was the
time.
first, yes, 4 time. This is the first time and Dave Castro said the clock won't save you. And
Yep.
so like usually it would be like an AMRAP where, hey, if you didn't finish this, you're done, or things like that. Or there was like a time cap. And I remember watching somebody, their face was just turning gray, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to stop them before they die. And like, I'm, I'm like, I was like really getting nervous. Like, what do I do here? And when do I do it? And I remember I can't remember what number it was. It was like the 12s or the 9s, and they got to it, and the color came back in their face, and their eyes got big, and like they finished the workout, everyone went crazy and they started crying, and like I'm all it was like, yeah, because you literally like you saw them push through something that, I'll tell you what, in a workout they would have been done a long time ago, right?
Yep.
It's like I don't want you to feel like that more than once a year, uh, but uh, but it was great that they were able to like almost feel that, like sometimes just feeling that thing where you really know, or you really feel like you can't go anymore, and then all of a sudden you
Right.
do, is it it's confidence building in anything else. You felt something, and you can keep going.
Yeah. And I think you take that with you into the year and your workouts because throughout the year you're following whatever programming and it probably has I wouldn't say like a bias, but like a flavor to it where you're kind of used to what the programming is and you're used to being in your class at your time with the same people and like I said with your scaling options
Hmm.
and so you get comfortable and so you're pushing your limits kind of but you're in
Yeah.
a very comfortable setting.
Right.
Once you have some skin in the game, you pay your $20, it's enough that it's like, all right, I paid, I'm going to do this thing. And you have your own judge, not just one coach for the whole class, but one person watching only you, counting your reps, and holding you to a standard where, like, wall balls and thrusters, those squats get a little sketchy in class, but now someone's sitting there saying, no rep, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is, even though you're still in your gym with your friends, it is a different environment
Yeah.
and it creates a different stimulus where you push yourself a little bit more and like a workout like that, like you said, they would have been done way before.
Hmm.
But the, CrossFit.com HQ says you're not allowed to stop until you're done. And
Yeah.
so you got to do it.
Yeah, I think that standards are huge. And now we obviously have standards in the gym, and we go, this is what a squat is, right? Your hips need to go below parallel. You're going to keep your heels on the ground, etc. Now we're doing that for function, right? And now if I'm not able to do that, we're going to modify that to get to a challenging position where you're working on that movement. Now, um, in the standards in the CrossFit Games or in the CrossFit Open, these standards are movement specific, right? Everyone has to get their hips below parallel. You have to stand
Mm-hmm.
all the way up, right? And you might get away with some of those things, like you said, wall ball squats sometimes get a little bit short, or people start hitting all kinds of spots. Like I've had to ask so many people, what spot are you hitting for your wall ball right now? And they're like, well, I'm sort of not. And it's like, yeah, let's try to hit the same spot every time. Because in the open, it is not a rep if it's not hitting the spot that you're supposed to be hitting, right? Actually,
Yep.
we just got the wall ball targets, and it's so funny watching people like they're like, I feel like it's harder. It's like, yeah, because now you actually know if you're hitting your spot or not.
Yeah. This is what we mean by accuracy.
Exactly. You know. Now, one thing that I've had multiple people be concerned about is because there is the foundation scaled in RX. What do I do in this workout? So there's a couple things that you can do with workouts that are right at your capacity, right? So you go, I've got some double unders, but this workout calls for 100, and that's going to take me a really long time. Now, because this is not a workout, so it is a workout, but it's a test. Um, you can take this a couple ways. What is going to make you have the most fun, right? And so, say that the RX workout is double unders and pull ups, and you can rock pull ups no problem, right? But every round is going to start with 50 double unders, right? It's a 10-minute AMRAP, and um, and now those 50 double unders, technically, that should be like 30 seconds or so. Okay. So you're going to be getting a lot of rounds in this. Now, you can take this as a test and go, I'm doing double unders, and you might have to do single, single, double. You might have to do all kinds of jumps that are not double unders. And so to get 50, you might do 200 jumps, right? Because you were doing singles to prep you for that big jump. And you can just take it as a test. It's probably not going to be the funnest workout ever. You're not going to be like getting as many rounds and reps as other people might, but you might just go, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And I think that this is a great time to do that.
Yep.
Another thing, like, so now take the pull-ups. You've got a workout where you can do all these things, or let's say even make it muscle ups, where you can do like everything, and then you get muscle ups. So there, actually, we just did this workout as a retest the other day. It was like 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, and it was like row and wall balls and toes to bar, and then it ends with muscle ups. And you can do all those things and get to the muscle ups, and you give it a few great tries, right? And now that's your score. You're like, hey, I got 0, and I tried 5, 10 times. I got close, but I didn't get it. Um,
Yeah.
or you could do it the scaled way. And if you're like, you know what, I'm more about just rocking this out, and I want to use it more as a workout. I want to be breathing hard the whole time and working hard. Go ahead and do that. And the cool thing about it is that you can go through. You come up to a workout, and you're like, dude, I can do all this RX. Do it, right? Absolutely. And then make that choice. Like, what is going to be fun for you? Um, there was a year or so ago where there was something I think with pull-ups, and there was people who like they went and they got their first pull-up. They might have got like 2 or 3 reps, but that
Mm-hmm.
was as far as they could get, right? There's like, it is not happening anymore. I still have to get 10 before I can go on to the next thing. And now what you can do is do your pull-ups and just get as many as you can. That's your score. And then you go, I'm done doing it RX, and now just play. And now do the workout scaled, or you can even throw it in your own modification. And but your score ends up being what you could do at the standard that they said, and
Right.
that's totally okay too.
Yeah. And so it really is like your day-to-day workouts are training. They are they have an intended stimulus to improve your fitness.
Mm-hmm.
These are tests with uh, with a calculation to rank you in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can do the first thing RX but only get a few reps, do that and you'll rank higher. And then, like you said, do the rest of the workout, the scaled version, if you want to sweat and work hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I think that it comes down to what's going to be the most fun, because I think that if this is not fun, then it's probably not a great decision, you know. And
Yeah.
just know that there is going to be a huge ego check, and I think there's an ego check for everybody, because there's that thing that is going to pop up, and you're like, dang it, why did they do that? And
Yeah.
and actually, I'll tell you what, I'm really excited because this is the first year that Boz is programming, and I'd like to see, because I mean, he's been around it for so long. So I'm just very curious to see what he throws in, especially when they seem to always be throwing in some kind of twist on something, like, so a new movement,
Put in like
or
parallettes or like press to
yeah,
handstand.
yeah, like, so he was a circus performer, and so he loves gymnastics. He loves kettlebells, and he actually kettlebells are in the equipment list this year, which that's sort of interesting. Sort of interested to see what they do with that, just because they've had so much trouble with judging kettlebells, with kettlebell swings and things like that. So I'm sort of assuming like an overhead lunge or like something
Yeah.
to
Clean
that
and jerk.
effect. Yeah, clean and jerk. But yeah, I think that'll be super fun to see what comes out of it. See if he does some kind of stupid gymnastics thing that I don't want to do. But I think it'll be good. What what
Yeah.
what is what is something that you would want to see in the open, and what is a movement that you don't want to see?
I think after doing 100 pull-ups every day for December,
Hmm.
my pull-ups are feeling awesome. In
Okay.
fact, I don't know if we talked about. I did a workout that had 50 at the beginning and 50 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
In the first set, I think I did 35.
Dang.
And I was still feeling good. And I'm like, I just don't want to tear my hands. Finished them up in another set, did the whole rest of the workout, came back. And again, I think I did 30 and then 20 at the end of the workout. And I was like, holy crap.
Dang.
So I'd be happy to see a whole bunch of pull-ups right now.
Yeah.
I think heavier things I wouldn't want to see because I have been following the main site for basically the last months. I just switched back to 531 because I weighed myself for the first time in a long time. I'm like, man, I lost, I don't know, like 10 pounds.
Huh.
So,
I've never accidentally lost
lift
weight.
more heavy weights. CrossFit makes me lose weight.
Yeah.
I can't keep muscle on. So if I want to keep on like more muscle mass,
Yeah.
I have to limit my CrossFit Metcons.
Interesting.
For sure. So heavy stuff will not look, and honestly, like Olympic lifts, I haven't done a ton of them. So that would be like a heavy, like that was the quarterfinals where they did the 185 snatches and box jump overs.
Yeah.
That would probably give me some trouble.
I'll tell you what. So for me, box jumps, they take so much out of me. So many people do them so much faster, and it seems like effortlessly. And I don't know what it is about. Like I can do them, and I can jump high. I mean, like I said, I almost touched the rim the other day, but
you can jump high for a 5'10" white guy.
That's right, 5'9",
almost
5'9".
touched the rim.
Yes, but I'm gonna get it. I'm 40 years old, and I'm just working on getting to the rim. But yeah, so box jumps, I just like when I see them in a workout, I'm like, duh, I hate this workout. But I would also be nervous with a heavy snatch. Like so, actually, we recently did some heavy overhead squats, and it was interesting because I feel pretty good right there. And I just did multiple things where it was like putting those movements together, and it's like, all right, I still have everything that I've done, but I haven't just went for super heavy snatch or even heavy clean. Actually, we just did power cleans, and I might have hit an all-time PR the other day, which is like weird because even with like heavy stuff, I've been keeping it a little bit lower than what I think I might be able to do. Like I haven't been really pushing it, and so that'll be interesting. But when it comes to like the open, double unders and burpees, I feel like they're my jam. I feel like even though like they're hard and all that kind of stuff, I feel like compared to others, I can rock those out. And I can make up a lot of time on those two movements. So even though I'm not necessarily looking forward to them being in there, when they come up, I know that that like, all right, I need to smash this
like
workout.
An advantage. Yeah, it's like an advantage over someone else.
Right. So, and actually, I'll tell you what, my rowing has been on spot, dude. I started working with the drag factor, so I was doing some studying on that, and I can rock rows out. I haven't messed around with doing it for calories, so like I know my pace and like in strokes per minute and stuff like that, and how to set up the rower for me. So I guess I would have to look at calories and see like how it translates and like what kind of calories per hour I might need to keep or like what I can keep. But dude, I've been rocking rowing lately. I hit a PR on my 5K.
Nice.
I
feel like that is.
Yeah.
It feels like your baseball swing. Like when it's just timed perfectly and you hit the ball in the sweet spot.
Yes.
I feel like that's the same feeling when you're rowing well and your timing is just right. And it's like, oh, this is so much easier and just moving and moving.
Yeah.
But it's a skill.
Right now I can keep like a 145 pretty much forever at like
Solid.
25 to 28 strokes per minute.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which, yeah. And like, yeah. But anyways, so CrossFit Open coming up. If you are part of our gym, you should be signing up. If you have not, you still have time. And basically, if you are doing CrossFit, you should be thinking about signing up for the Open. It's a great litmus test. We had a member last year who her first group class was going to be on a Friday in the afternoon, where we had Friday Night Lights. So her first group class was an open workout. She's like, "What the heck is going on?" But it was fantastic. And so now she gets to retest. You know, it was literally just a straight up litmus test. And obviously, if that was their first day, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We'll see you guys on the leaderboard, and we will see you next week at 11:30 for Do That But Better.
All right.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.